Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can. I hope you can hear me. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. We are hearing you, sir.
Okay, that's good. Okay, hope you guys are doing okay. So today is our first mentorship section, and we have our amazing mentor here, Mr. Udugotoluwa Olokode. Yeah, I'm right. So let me just read his profile to you all. I mean, Mr. Tolua is an innovative web developer with a proven track record in creating seamless and high-impact web applications. His expertise lie in the entire web development stack, with a focus on JavaScript and TypeScript, React, Python, and Node.js. He have almost a decade of experience working in tech community, building and tailoring projects to scale. We have developed significant collaboration skills as well as problem solving, critical thinking, and organizational skills. Key strategy: full stack development, server side development, RESTful API integration, agile methodologies. So, Mr. Odugo Toluwa is an heavyweight in this industry. It's an honor to have you here, Mr. Odugo Toluwa. So, sir, you have the floor.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that uh, overly generous introduction. Um, yes, it's nice to be here. Nice to meet you guys. Um, like Alex just said, me, I'm a web developer, full stack developer, with more experience on the front end. And yeah, I don't really know what to, expect coming here. This is the first mentorship session, I believe. So I'm just going to talk in general rather than maybe going into specifics about what some people may not be able to follow. Um, so we can do this two ways. I have like a presentation. I can go through that presentation if you guys would like. If you want this to be more interactive, that can go. We can go that way as well. But if people aren't really interacting, I'll just go through the presentation and see how it goes. But if you want to ask me questions, you want to stop me, you want to clarify anything I'm saying, you want to call me out on some bullshit I'm saying, uh, at any point, feel free to do that. That would be great. Just if you guys want this to be interactive, we can do that. We can talk about something else rather than the boring stuff that I presented. If you guys want to know anything, you know, in particular anything left field, we can dump the presentation and talk about everything. Yeah, even if it's like your challenges or you feel like you want to give up already, you want to talk about that, anything. But I'll kick off with the presentation because um, I don't think anybody will speak out just yet. Um, but if you want to, at any point, just interrupt me and I'll come back. Okay. Let me share that screen. This will, yeah, I think this will work. I should probably go to the very top first. Yeah. Okay. Just to confirm, you guys can see my screen. Can we get somebody to speak up or some interaction or something?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. It would be nice if the students can interact, or the learners can interact if you can. Feel free. All right, nothing for me in particular, nothing is off, nothing is how do I put it? I'm not going to be offended by anything or this presentation is by the by if there's something more important, but I'll go through it. So I whipped this up quickly and called it live as a front-end dev. So just general stuff. I'll go through it. Yes, a flawed perspective, because at the end of the day, people have different perspectives. I can only speak from what I know, from my experiences so far. People have had different experiences. They feel different about things. Yeah, so let's go. And mine is sort of you see as we go. So what I'll try to do in this presentation is give you a little glimpse into the world of front-end development, how your day-to-day will be like, what it's like, how you feel in it, challenges that you go through, what is expected of you, tools you work with, and the possible opportunities that you experience. Yes, front-end development is an opportunity itself, but generally, other opportunities that sort of are around it you can explore. What does a front-end developer do? The first one is the basic one. You translate designs into code. Simple. You take Figma, you make it functional. And that sort of involves two parts, I guess. The design part and the functionality part. So you want to take designs, you want to make it pixel perfect. You want to make it look as good as it is. You don't always get everything in design. You may get the web design, and you have to make it mobile responsive as well. You need to be flexible in that aspect, or you might get both, and you need to stick to what is given. And then functionality. When a user clicks a button or does this, scrolls down, they have something they expect to happen. You want that to happen as efficiently as possible. Building interactively using JavaScript, TypeScript. Yeah, this is another important one. Starting off, you would start off learning JavaScript. That's normal. You will, maybe not quickly, but you eventually figure out that JavaScript is a funny language. There's a running joke within JavaScript developers community that JavaScript is a terrible programming language. That's obviously not completely true, because the web is built on JavaScript. You can't do anything on the web without JavaScript. But yes, it is true actually. JavaScript is a terrible language. Nobody builds with JavaScript anymore. We build with TypeScript, which is basically JavaScript with like ingredients around it. I don't know how far you guys have gone, or some of you might have gone, if you've looked into TypeScript. And if you want me to write some JavaScript versus TypeScript code, I can maybe open up my IDE. That's what people want. If not, we can keep going. But basically, TypeScript is just more strictly typed JavaScript that you feel more comfortable running in production. It makes you write JavaScript with best practices, less bugs, things like that. So nobody writes JavaScript in production, but it's basically JavaScript with a little bit of stuff around, like strongly typed. I don't want to go into too much details. But if you guys want to, somebody can say, hey, let's play into TypeScript. What else do you do? Collaboration. That's also important because you will work in teams. A lot of devs work very well individually. I like to work alone as well. But you're not going to get far if you don't learn how to work with people. If you don't learn how to collaborate, you won't be the only front-end dev on a lot of projects. And front-end alone is not going to build a production-ready application today. You're going to integrate with something, backend, APIs, external tools, external sources. Of course, you have stakeholders, designers, and you as a front-end developer, you would work with everybody around you. Basically, you work with everybody and you will be the point of contact. Once an application is built and something is broken or it's not working, it's you. You're the one. When stakeholder comes and says, this thing is not working, yeah, they're going to say, yeah, the developer that built it. And the developer that built it is going to be the front-end dev, not the back-end dev, because you can't see what's happening in the back-end. All they can see is the screen. What they see, hey, this button is, I clicked it and it's not working. It might not be your fault, but yeah, the front end devs, they're the one that is going to come and meet. So just be, be mindful of that. You'll be the point of contact. And then it's now left for you to investigate and be like, and fix or be like, oh, the back end needs to take a look at this. That is assuming that you're a front end dev having a back end dev, a different back end dev working on something. Let's leave that. Optimization. All of this is just performance stuff, fast loading time, mobile responsiveness, cross-browser compatibility. You build an application, these things should be in mind while you're building, but especially in the beginning stages, you build an application without really thinking about some of these things, and they become afterthoughts. They're like, you finish the application and it scales. You have more users, more people. You have more models or more things in the project coming in. Eventually, you figure out that it's not loading fast. Now you need to figure out things like image size, chunking, lazy loading, just-in-time loading, pagination, things that make your application slow because they've scaled. It's great to to have this in mind while building. A lot of times it doesn't necessarily work like that, and it comes after. Either ways, the important things like that needs to be done. Cross-browser compatibility, yeah. So you want your application, basically want to test it out across the major browsers, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and a few others. You want it, you can build an application that doesn't work well on one of these browsers. It happens depending on different stuff. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Yeah, I put some tools on the right side, and I highlighted a few. I think I stopped highlighting after a point. Code editors, I don't know which ones you've used. Most people use Visual Code. The other things like Vim, Atom, Sublime Text, IntelliJ, there are a lot. These days, they are the AI assisted ones like Winstuff, Cursor. Using Cursor at the moment, Straight so. That's another challenge slash advantage in tech today. You need to learn, or you need to be able to leverage tools like AI properly, but also you need to be careful that you understand what you're doing when you're leveraging AI. So I didn't put Cursor there for it, but things like Cursor, but Cursor and Winsoft, they are built on their forks of VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So they're built basically on Visual Studio Code. So Version control, again, ties back to collaboration. This will be important when you start collaborating with other developers. Version control, Git, very important, very straightforward, very annoying. It can frustrate your life, but it's actually straightforward. I'm not sure if you guys have touched Git yet, but yeah, Git is important. GitHub and GitLab are just the other ones. AWS has this one. I forget the name. I forget the name of their one. There's Bitbuckets. Those ones are more like hosting. I'm not confused. They are different. Git itself is the version control thing. GitHub is sort of like where the project is hosted. So Git is the thing that you need to get your head around. It's important for collaboration. Funny story, back in the old days, when devs used to collaborate, they would write code on a file. Someone told me this story that, was a dev way back. Write code on a file, send it across to your teammates. They would download it, edit that same file, send it across to whoever. And that's basically how they did their version control, how they collaborated. But these days, thankfully, multiple people can be working on the same project at the same time and just push to Git and merge code. You can even be working on the same file. Not advisable, but anything is possible. Front-end frameworks. You guys would have heard of front-end frameworks already. CSS tools like Less, deal with CSS in JS, so things like style components, and then their libraries, which they're still common, but a lot of people use Tailwind CSS now, so it's good to learn, get your head around Tailwind CSS. It's basically CSS which like shorthand CSS, so it's straightforward and it's inline, so it's easy. Libraries are like Chakra, nice one, built by a Nigerian. Ant Design, Material UI. Yeah, so some tools that you use, build tools like Webpack, Babel. These ones you will not necessarily, at least in the beginning, need to really, figure them out like that. You use them under the hood, but you won't need to really look into, but really delve into them like that. But just understand them and what they are doing. Building, bundling. The day you decide, a lot of devs have never done this, front end devs, but if ever the day you decide to scaffold the projects in React, for example, from scratch, rather than using like a command from scratch with Webpack, you would, it will be an interesting day for you. I've only done that like twice, and it's a interesting experience. Frustrating experience, but interesting. But let's say that design tools, you need to read things like Figma, Sketch, Canva. Funny enough, I've only ever used Figma, so obviously Figma is the most used tool normally, but there can be other design tools and they're similar. You just need to understand it. I feel like I'm talking too much. Does anybody want to say something? Ask a question. Tell me that I'm not, anything. Yeah, I know this is hard because this is the first time you guys are meeting me. So, what do you want to see? Is that the end? That's the end. Yeah, speak, please. Jacqueline.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for the presentation so far.
No problem.
Yes, so I'd love to know, you at the beginning they mentioned that front end and back end at some point we have to work together.
Right.
How much knowledge of the back end do we have to know? Because I'm thinking in order for us to coordinate properly, we have to know some stuff about the back end. So are you going to tell us later within the course, or maybe you can just hint on it so we just know? Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, good question. Actually, good question. I'm sure some people would have learned a bit about front end and back end here. So feel free to speak up when I answer this question because I could be very wrong. So I have a unique perspective because it's been a while, but I actually learned front end and back end at the same time. So when I really got into building front end applications and interacting with back end developers, I was basically also a back end developer. Like I got into the space being able to, like, if I had a problem on the back end and the back end guy is slacking, I can literally run the project and fix it myself because I knew back end at the time very well. So I have a unique perspective. I almost want to think you should know, or maybe you should not know. I'm not sure. I knew, but the real answer is not necessarily so much. But once you're a developer, you have knowledge of how development works. Once you are a front-end developer, in this case, you can build web applications. Excuse me. Oh, well. You can be thrown into a back-end code. You might not be able to build it, but if it's in Node.js, JavaScript, for example, you understand JavaScript, so you can read the code, basically. When a backend developer says something like cross-origin resource error, you understand that. When this backend developer says they require a string for telephone number, not a number, you understand that. You will understand some things because backend developer, front-end developer, guess what? They have the word developer in common. You will understand something just off the bat. Some things you won't understand, obviously. Vice versa for a backend developer, but you will understand enough to be able to communicate with the backend developer effectively, just off the bat. Just the same way you would understand enough to be able to communicate with the designer off the bat. It just is. So I don't think you need to be too worried about how much of backend you need to know. What I might touch on later is diversifying, maybe not just sticking with front end. You want to be a bit inquisitive. What's back end is what are back end developers doing? What are designers doing? What are others doing? You have a bit of knowledge. And your starting point is not always your ending point. So, funny thing about me is, and I'm going to say this again, I'm a front end developer. I've spent like 70% of my development doing front end. But I actually prefer working on the back end. Actually, I know you guys are learning front end development, but personally, I don't actually like front end development that much. Funny to say, but I have on WhatsApp. I'm not sure about what. So towards the end of the presentation, we'll talk about that. Let me go through the presentation about how to reach me if you need to. So yeah, back end. What was I saying? Yeah, I prefer back end to front end, for example, but I've done more front end over the years. Better at the front end. Why do you prefer back end? That's a choice thing. So I don't like styling as much personally. I don't like the playing around with CSS as much. A lot of people do. They like styling, they like getting it right, playing around with it, making it look good, making things move. It's one of the reasons why animation is not my strongest, you know, my strongest skill, because I'm just not that interested. I like functionality. I like to get things to work, and it's like to find the issue, fix it. So I have more like a back end. I was more back end leaning when like I said, I learned both around the same time. And there was a lot of styling, a lot of CSS, a lot of touch tweaking on the front end, on the back end. There's lots of stuff there, but it was more functionality, more, get this optimization, less screen, less looking at the beauty of what you're doing, which is nice, especially when you're starting off. If you're starting off as a dev, you can do things and you can see it reflect immediately on the front end. It's beautiful. It gives you confidence, keeps you going. But once I started doing backend, I was like, yeah, not really about this styling and stuff like that. So that's just a personal choice. Lots of people prefer front end. Just like, forget this anyway. Yeah, just like frameworks as well. It's like React, Vue, whatever. React is the most popular framework, most widely used, has the best support. But some people prefer Vue or Angular for whatever reason. It's a preference thing. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Did I answer every question? I hope I answered everybody's question. Any more questions? Okay. Again, as I'm going on, you can raise your hand. If, because I'm looking at the slides, if I miss it, you can interrupt me. You can just unmute and interrupt me if I'm going too far. I've not responded to you. Okay. Well, we said a day in the life. This thing is, let me just go through it. It was sort of like broken down into like morning, afternoon, evening, review your tasks in the morning, do your stand-up. Stand-up is like a small, short meeting with your team. Check your emails, collaborate with your team, coding time, build new features, fix bugs. In the afternoon, review pull requests, collaborate on GitHub. In the evening, test your code, debug, review code, sync with devs and designers. Yeah. Sometimes your day can go like this. Most times your day isn't really going to go like this. For example, there's some, don't let me start dragging. Some places you won't even have a central project management location. Most places you will. Some days you wake up in the morning knowing what you need to do because you carried busy from the day before and you need to fix it up ASAP before they ask you to stand up or whenever. So you wake up in the morning, having not slept well because you have been dreaming of the bug that you have not fixed. And you start fixing it. Oh, you see that and there's that early development life where you wake up, you'll be battling with a bug and then or an issue trying to fix it, and you go to bed and you wake up at like 2 a.m. with the solution. And then you have to decide whether you want to start fixing it or you want to just go back to bed. And by the time you wake up in the morning, you've forgotten the solution. And then you start again. So that's part of. No, I don't think I have those kind of nightmares anymore. Well, those were interesting times. Check your email, collaborate with your team. Sometimes you go days without really collaborating. So don't collaborate with your team well. At least let everybody know what you're doing. If not, your project will fail. So then communicate, collaborate. Emails, again, check your emails regularly. Sometimes I go days, weeks without checking my email. Terrible. It's a terrible thing to do. But That's what happens. Fix bugs, build features. Some days there are no features to build, you're just fixing bugs. Some days you're building features, there are bugs to fix, but new features need to go out. It is what it is. Review pull requests, depending on where you're working, what you're doing, you might not be the one reviewing pull requests, but it is relatively important for everybody to review each other's pull requests. That's the way it's supposed to go. It helps you grow as a developer. You need to read people's code, evaluate people's code, give feedback. That helps you as well. You see how people implement things, you see people's mistakes, you see your mistakes, how people do things better than you do. You get to collaborate, communicate more with your team members. So really, everybody should be reviewing pull requests. It's just great. Test new code. Some places don't test code, like write tests. Actually, so that's another part of development where you write tests for your code. More common in the back end, but also done on the front end with things like unit testing tools or end-to-end testing tools are probably more common on the front end, like Cypress, Playwrights, tools like that. But yes, basically test your code. You can go years without writing tests, without knowing what tests do. That's just the truth. Yeah, sync with backend devs, yeah, whatever. Let's next. Challenges faced by front-end developers. By all developers, keeping up with technology. Very annoying. New things will come out all the time. Changes. There'll be changes to things you learned recently, and you'll be wondering why. Why did they change it? Like, what was the point? Who even asked for this fix? Like, it was fine, but it is what it is. And if you're a normal person, is people that are not really normal, and there are a lot of people that are not normal in tech that tend to be really happy about change. I feel like I look at them like people that are not normal. If you're normal like me, you naturally want to resist change. So things come up and you don't want the new stuff because you know the old stuff. Now you have to go and learn this new stuff. And so, yeah, new best practices. Like, remember a few years ago, everybody was writing API calls in use effects. Now, apparently, it's a sin for some reason because it makes too many API calls. But it is what it is now. That's it. Everything that keeping up with new technology is important and also annoying for some people. Performance optimization. I think I talked about this already. Load time, improving user experience. Yeah, minimizing load time. Debugging. Yes. You would be getting you get things like, hey, this thing is not working, or I changed it did not change, or it changed by itself. You'll get vague issues thrown at you that you need to go and figure out why, because it comes down to something tangible. But the issues that are thrown at your face will not be tangible. Will be some left field issues that don't seem to make any sense. So now you have to debug. So debugging itself is a skill. You identify, resolve issue. Yeah, sometimes it's the issue of like it's on a particular device or for a particular user or on a particular browser, and you won't even know because all the person will say is all the feedback you tell you will say is, oh, we tried to do this, it did not work. You don't know, for example, if it's a feature that is only available on desktop and somebody tries to do it on mobile, for example, just for example. No, it's your head. Debugging is a skill in itself. Yes, you bridge the gap between design and functionality. That's my challenge. I don't know why I put that there. Just ignore that. Before I go into this, let me see. What are the essentials of comments in coding? Okay. Sorry, like I said, okay, this is not long ago. Okay. Comments in coding. The real essential of comments in coding is basically to explain your code or to give your code meaning to a certain extent. I can Google comments in code right now and give you a more structured example. So comments in code are notes that programmers add to their source. If you don't know this, I'm just reading this from Google, by the way. Programmers add to their source code to make it easier to understand. That's the point of comments in code. You write a block of code. Obviously, you're not supposed to do this thing. That's interesting. How do I undo this? Okay. Anyway, where was I? I just got distracted by that little feature. If you not notice, I don't do a lot of presentations. Okay. Comments in coding. Yes. Essentially is to explain your code. Especially you can write a block of code that maybe it's not very readable. Readable is not the word. Might need more explaining, a little bit more. So you add comments to it like that explains it. So when next you come back, by the way, if you think you write a code and you believe that as you're writing the code, you believe that yes, you wrote the code, when you come back or whenever you need to come back to the code or fix something, you believe that because you wrote it, you're going to understand it. You are sadly mistaken. Terribly mistaken even. I give you 3 weeks away from that code. 2 weeks safe. And you come back and you would swear you are not the one that wrote the code. That's where comments in code. Forget commenting the code because another developer is going to have to look at it for you. Somebody that's your partner, somebody down the line in 10 years, I need to look at it and wonder what the hell was this guy writing. Forget that. You yourself might have to look at it in 3 weeks and you won't know what you were thinking. So commenting code is important. In the real world, we do that, yes. We also write unnecessary comments as well. We comment out code that we don't want to remove from the code base, but we don't want the user to see the functionality, but we want it to still remain there because we're going to come back and touch it and play around with it, undo it, do something with it. I write comments. You know what? This even reminds me. I should go back to this place and make a search. I write comments and things that I know are half fixed that I need to take a look at again. This is not best practice. I'm just talking about what I do and what happens in real life. So I write comments like, this thing is not working well, or this thing errors out when unicorn happens, or you need to add this to this place, and just put my name there. So whenever I'm less busy, I can search the code base with my name and just look at all. I'm going to say all, but it's not like it's plenty. But a few issues where I wrote my name and go back and like, okay, this is the problem I need to solve. Let's solve it now. Don't do that. That's bad practice. But you will do that at some point in your front end. But remember, I say don't do that. That's tough a lot. What else? But essentials. So glad to be learning front end. Okay. That's good. Everyone will also understand. And programmers will also understand. Like understand code. Yes and no. You're supposed to be able to read code. And therefore you understand code. But you cannot understand every code. How do I put this? Let's just put it this way. I've been writing code for a long time and I don't understand every code. I don't understand every code that I have written. probably understood it while I was writing it. But like months down the line, I've gone back to it and I'm like, what was I doing? So back months, sometimes months, I've gone back to it months later, back down the line. I'm like, this is very disgraceful what I wrote. And like the code I wrote was so bad. I'm just looking at it like, after all my learnings and all my experience as a developer, I'm still writing nonsense like this. That happens. But yes, it's not every code you're going to understand. To be sincere, you can sit down with it for a long time and really understand it step by step. But it helps if there are comments. It helps if the person didn't write rubbish. It helps if you do not write rubbish. And okay, let's not just say rubbish. It helps if you learn how to write code properly, structured way, follow best practices. Let's not say rubbish. It helps to avoid spaghetti code. Write proper code. Write readable code. Comment when necessary. Don't comment for commenting sake. Comment when necessary. You figure that out. Yeah, it helps. So yes, programmers are meant to understand, but you won't understand everything. You can't. What else? I don't like adding comments. What did I say? You don't like adding comments? Yeah, it's a thing that you like. It's like I don't like animations, CSS. But you do it. I don't like CSS, but I write CSS every day. I prefer backend, but I'm a much better front-end developer. It's not everything that you like. You understand the necessity. Do it. I get sometimes I think I sort of get that writing comments can make you feel like it's as if you don't know what you're doing. But that's not really the case. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, and that's why I'm writing comments. But most times that's not the case. It's bigger than that. I mean, we use AI tools these days. If you ask ChatGPT to write a complex code for you, for example, I'm not endorsing that, but if you do, you will notice that it will probably come with a bunch of comments because it is hard to read code. And it is sometimes challenging to understand every line of code. So comments come in. And yeah, the AI is trying to help you to understand the code with the comments. So why don't you try to help yourself, your future self, or your teammates? So comment have a step-by-step process? Probably not. If you're asked to probably write like a code challenge or maybe algorithms and data structures, you might need to do that, or they might ask you to do what's that thing called? If you're raising your hand, you can talk. But I think that might be a mistake. If it was a mistake, you don't need to say anything. But if you want to talk, just interrupt them. It's fine. This interrupt me thing that I'm saying. This is something I've almost forgotten what I was saying. Then work should go step. Yes, so they ask you to write what are these things called again? Pseudocode. They ask you to write pseudocode. So it's basically you're writing what your thought process. This is a solution. You're writing it in English step by step, and then you now code that solution. So it's like you're writing in English and then you're translating English into code. So they might ask you to do that for like maybe like a coding challenge or something. But in the real world, you don't write comments on all your code. You just write comments where it's necessary. So it's code that needs to be explained for some reason, not just any code. You can't be adding to numbers and writing a comment for that. It's unnecessary. I just plug in the code base. So these kind of things, you figure it out, step by step eventually. Initially, you might not write any comment at all, and you will be wrong and stubborn. Or initially, you might write comment on every code. You would also be wrong and stubborn. Eventually, you find the middle ground where you understand when to write comments and when not to. My phone browser. Yes, that is he on the screen? Something, yeah, your site does not work on your phone browsers. Probably something to do with either like browser compatibility or most likely mobile responsiveness. So that's an important aspect of front-end development as well. That's why I did this. A lot of people do mobile first. But yes, that can happen. And you can look into why that's happening. I can do a really quick this thing. So if I do this and I open DevTools, which I believe you guys okay, you guys can see that actually. So I'm not sharing. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Present something else, maybe. Window or entire screen. Window. Let's do entire screen for now. Share. Okay. Now you guys should be able to see this DevTools here, which may be actually tiny. So thus owing to the I can't remember how many times I created this thing now. Owing to the comment about mobile, the website not working on mobile. Let's start this again. You can right click, you probably know this, and right click and inspect. See this little icon here? Toggle device toolbar. It's going to toggle it to a mobile view. And you can change what kind of device sort of it should mirror. iPad will probably be bigger. More or less. It's now Pixel 7. Let's just leave it responsive. And this is dimensions. So you see how this looks very different from this. This doesn't even look very different. So other sides will look, way different. Depending on how you build it, that's why you need to build it with mobile responsiveness in mind, or sometimes build mobile first. It might simply not work on mobile because you just didn't do it well enough. That's why things like Tailwind are important in frameworks as you go down the line. And the frameworks itself are important. So yeah, that can happen. Let me change what I'm sharing. How can I change what I'm sharing now? Like this, change what I'm sharing. So I can do this. Something else. This guy. Yeah. Okay. What else? Okay, let me move a bit faster. An example of how to write comments. Well, let's in your whatchamacallit code base, writing the comments will probably look something like this for JavaScript, having this 2/ and having a comment. and that will be a comment, or can't spell, or something like uh something like this. So where's the star? Star. And so this is more like a multi-line comment. I think this, yeah, this is inline. It's like an inline comment, and this is a multi-line comment. So everything here will be comment. Everything should be one word, but I don't care. Here will be a comment. Be, and I think I can do this, and everything within will still be a comment. For the love of God, would be. You know what? What? Move this a bit up. Let's. I'm trying to do something here. Everything, yeah, inside here would be a comment. And I'm not using like Visual Studio Code, but basically everything in this multi-line, you can have multiple lines, but this star slash and star slash will make everything inside here be a comment. So multi-line comments. This will be inline, and you might be talking in terms of actual functionality. So an example is, I can't really come up with one, but something that needs to be, you're making an external API call to some third party, whatever, that you need to explicitly say, oh, this, goes to OpenAI and fetches this, and that's what we're using for this, for it to make sense. In terms of actual functionality, I'm not sure I can do that right now, but I hope you understand. Let's move a bit faster. Example of that. Effects of AI and front-end development. I will touch on this, I believe. Maybe I should even touch on this now. Effects of AI and front-end development. I mentioned things like cursor, Winsoft, leverage AI. It's a funny time to enter front-end development because it's easy to enter leverage AI a lot and not really understand the concepts, which I think will be dangerous. But also, you can't ignore AI because people would move while you're still hanging around there. So, yes, big effects. Like a scaffold. I'd like to show you guys something about. It might be detrimental to your what's it called? What do you want to call it? Not to your ginger for learning. I can scaffold applications in seconds, minutes, because of AI today, but it's still important to understand the basics. So the effect on AI basically on front end is massive. That's the thing, it's massive. You can do a lot. A lot of the things you will learn can be done fast. But you still need to understand it to be able to properly work with it. You need to leverage AI you're building to build faster. And some of you will do that right from the bat, and you won't really know how it was to not really leverage AI in the past. Yes. So the answer is massive. It's big. You can't ignore it. Will it come for all our jobs eventually? I don't know. Maybe. But maybe it will come for all of us. Who knows? An assignment was given where if you could read the codes like it's in your language, it's terrible. I don't understand this. There was an assignment. If you could read the codes like it's a new language, it's very cool. Okay. Just knowing how to read code, I guess. I feel like there's only one or two people asking questions. You guys should be a little more. This is Even more free. Ask. In fact, if it's bro, I think I was. In fact, there's money on this slide. Even if it is bro, I'm making Kinecon amount now where I am. Am I going to make more money if I switch to tech? Am I going to be broke? Like, let me know. Let me not enter this tech for no reason. If it's bro, have you been able to feed yourself on tech? Like, Alpha, what other programming language should I learn? Or what framework should I learn? We're learning React. Is React actually the best? Any question you want to ask, feel free. He didn't understand Sunny. I don't know what Sunny is. I can say I used AI once and he didn't understand some things. It's possible. More likely that maybe he didn't explain it well, but it's possible. Tijani, if that wasn't a mistake, it might have been a mistake actually. But you can speak up. Yeah, your hands up again.
All right, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. How you doing?
Yes, sir. This is my question, sir. Like about what you have represented this morning. Like, what advice can you give somebody like a student that is just entering tech and not that automatically as a student you'll be passing to some school stress automatically, and at the same time we being into tech also is also another stress automatically. So I don't know if like there is a way like one can balance is it even possible that one can even balance both of it, or is it advisable for someone to leave one or leave one to one?
Hmm. Uh, hmm. Again, if you have more knowledge, speak up. I learned how to code after school, so I had graduated. The fact that you're in school and you're learning, I think that you are already a step or a few steps ahead of me, ahead of where I was. So that's one positive. You are trying to do both. I think, except if you're saying it's impossible to do both, I think it is possible. I know people that did it. I wasn't one of them. As I was working when I started coding. In fact, I at some point quit my job to focus totally on coding. Some people do not advise that. I don't necessarily advise that either. It sort of eventually, I guess I can say, worked out for me. Balance is, yes, that's it. Balancing both is the thing. I can't tell you to leave one, obviously. I can't tell you to not focus on school. They say school not scam, but it's not really. Not really. Get it. If you're in school, try to graduate with as best of a grade as you can. Uh, the okay, how do I put this delicately? The interesting thing about tech is I know first class students in tech doing well. I know people who didn't go to school in tech doing well. It's not going to hurt your chances. It's how do I put this? Oh, definitely take schooling seriously. Don't think because there are people that didn't go to school. It's like saying, what's his face? Mark Zuckerberg did not graduate, and so you want to drop out. Like that's, it's not like you get. It doesn't make sense. So take your school seriously, and if you are interested in coding, take it seriously. It's funny for somebody in tech to say, well, tech is not by force for everybody. Everybody cannot do tech. People must do different things. But if you're interested in tech, put in the work. It's going to be hard. You're going to feel like it's difficult. But I bet you can do it. You can definitely do it. Somebody has raising up their hand. You can speak.
Good evening. Um, my question is based on what the person asked earlier. But the thing is, I'm working. I work, so I'm a part-time student. After work, I go to school on Friday, and I'm trying to work on tech. But I don't know if it's advisable for me to meet my boss at work. Just tell him if I can take leave, because I don't know how very difficult this school and the tech. So I don't know how difficult or how stressful it is. But I hear it's something you need to do the task. And I'm not always having the task. So this thing is possible for me to just tell my boss, okay, so months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, I won't be coming on so days or so. I don't know if you can enlighten me on that.
Okay. I've shot myself and just put these are some more complex questions. So it's not a yes or no thing. It can definitely be done. You can do it. You can balance both. Hypocritical statements because I actually quit. Again, I don't advise that. Things are rough, and it's not like things are rough. Two, if you have the flexibility of taking leave to be able to focus on this intermittently, maybe that might be a good choice for you. I'm not sure where you're working, where you take a lot of leave or months of leave or leaves like every week or every other week for months that they will not fire you. That's another thing. So you need to be careful. You still need to perform at work while doing this. You have to somehow carve out a few hours of time daily or every couple of days to write code, build stuff, learn things. Make sure you're writing code. Make sure you're practicing what you're learning. That's the thing. You're learning stuff, you're practicing, you're writing code. You're not just reading and say, okay, I understand. Write, build, write the code. 3 hours every day. Build stuff that you can see. You're doing front end, you build stuff, you can see it. It will motivate you to want to build more. Balancing it again. I'm not an expert on this, but it's definitely not going to be easy. If you can carve out time, okay. If you can't, it's still doable. I don't think it's the, I don't think there's a right answer to this. I don't think there's a right answer to this. But be very careful. Okay, let me go back to questions. I think yes, there are more front-end frameworks. I don't even know all of them. Okay, there are, React, Vue, Angular, Svelte. There are plenty of the others. The most popular are React, Vue, Angular. The most popular is probably React. Yeah. Mr. Tijani, you can speak. No? Was that a mistake? I'll continue with the questions, but you can come back later. You can speak now. Methods to motivate yourself. I don't know. This is a question that somebody else might be able to answer. My answer is always forget motivation. Just do it. It's like going to classes. You don't motivate yourself to go to class. You just do it. You just wake up and go to class. Or going to work. You are not motivated. You just go. Just do it. Consistency over motivation or jinta. Just do it. Write the code. Yeah, not motivated, right? Also open the laptop and write the code. No, nobody cares. Don't, do it happily when you are gingered. When you are angry, when you don't want to, you shall do it. Just do it happy or do it sad. Just be doing it. That's my own thing. Just do it. It's not no motivation. But some people have motivation. I can't really speak to that. Man, you just do it. Whichever way. Open code, look at it, write the code. Yes, it's a new part. It's a new part for a lot of people. Not a lot of people read computer science. Not a lot of people that read computer science even know how to code. A lot of people, I'm sure some people are probably here. I don't know what we do in computer science, but a lot of people graduate in computer science and they have to relearn how to code when they come out. Like I said, there are people that didn't go to school. It's secondary school that they did, and they're writing code. So it is not a thing of, I did computer science in school, that's why people do it. I know people that read French in school and they are my guys in coding. People learn it is what it doesn't matter what you did. Some people feel like coding is very close to engineering. You probably do maybe one or two coding courses in engineering, depending on your course. I don't think it's that close to engineering. Let me not get into that, but yeah, it's a new part for a lot of people. How many months or years to land the job? I don't have a CV. You create a CV. Once you learn, you build projects. It's going to be important. That's why I say you need to build projects. You need to code. Build projects that you can showcase. This is what I've built. This is what I've done. The more you learn, you'll be able to build more projects and you can showcase. How many months or years to land the job? No answer. No answer. I know people that I was learning with, and before we finished, in fact, before we even did, because we did front end and then we did back end. Before we finished really doing back end, they got jobs, big offers, like crazy money. And there were people that I felt that they were not half as good as me. Before we finished learning, they got offers. I know people that I felt were way better than me. That, oh man, this guy, save me, I go feed down. This guy bad gone. And a year after we finished learning, a year, 2 years, they haven't gotten a job. So anybody that's going to give you a specific answer, he's not really giving you a right answer, because anything can happen. To be honest, anything can happen. There are different in interviewing, networking, finding a job is an entire skill on its own, apart from the skill that you build technically. So there's really, unfortunately, no good answer. You can get the job almost immediately. You can be waiting a long time to get the job. You can build your own product. You can get a job as I know people that were learning. I know somebody that went through a boot camp, was learning, came out and got a job as a CTO immediately. I don't know what the hell they saw in the guy. I don't know what the guy knew. He got a job as a CTO. Most people will get a job as a junior developer because that is probably around the level that you come out, junior to mid developer. I know someone that got a job as a CTO. This is not, it's not fair. Fairness isn't given. Life is not fair. That's my second point there. You see people that you know that you're better than, so fly above you, and you see people that you feel are better than you sink. It is what it is. It's like every field. It's like if you watch football, you guys watch football, a lot of talented players that don't amount to anything. There are a lot of mid-average players that win championships every other year, win trophies. That's just life. That's what happens. Damn it. How many months? Yes, you build a CV eventually. Mm, somebody already quits their job. At least I can say it's not me that advised you. I don't endorse that. That's what I did. It may work for you. It may not work for you. Again, life is not fair. You know, things happen. But you need to be focused. If you need to get another job, that's by the by. If you need to just be focused in tech, you can do it. You have a safety net. You know, you can do that. Say I'm husband, father during the day and evening, I study and code. Yeah, so motivation, work during the day, code in the evening. It's not easy. It's not easy. And you have a family. It's not easy. After React, what next? I don't know. Me too. Right now, I'm wondering what next for me in life like this. Learn React. I don't know. After React, during React, build projects. There's Next.js now, which is, sort of built on top of React, I guess. It's like a framework built on React. So it's basically React, to be honest. You venture into Node.js without really understanding, without really knowing that you're not really, you are writing React. Just leave it. So after React, there's no such thing as after React. What next? I don't know. You probably build, once you learn the fundamentals of React, you probably, go into a little bit more advanced stuff. You go into state management, like, with some flux pattern, maybe like Redux, Mobex, Zostan, one of those stuff. Maybe context API, whatever, React hooks. There's more to learn in React than you ever know. There's no such thing as after React. You just learn stuff. You continue learning. Basically, you just always be learning. Yeah. So it depends on what you want. If you want to just do React, and you do React, you most likely need to learn Next.js. If you want to go into something else like backend, maybe you learn Node.js. If you want to go into UI UX, you pick up design or whatever. There's no real answer. Just get to the React first and build some. Shall we learn data structures and algorithms? I don't know if you're going to do that here. That might be a good idea, especially if you want to. There are some rules that you need to learn. No data structures and algorithms. You'll be asked questions. Can someone mute your mic? Sorry. Akoki and Nafisa, can you mute your mic if you are not speaking? Or moderator, maybe. Well, by the by, yes. There's no yes or no answer. You should probably do. If you eventually, not even eventually, if you want, in fact, again, people get into places like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, early in their career, some later in their career, some don't care to ever, build their own product stuff. So if you're going into places like that, and some small startups all around in Nigeria, there's some places that they'll give you data structures and algorithms tests. So it's good to learn. It's good to know. Problem with these things is you may not utilize them on a daily basis. So when you learn them, there's the propensity for them to leave you if you leave them. So practicing is good. There are sites like HackerRank, LeetCode, where you can, work with these things progressively, daily, get better at them, sharpen your skills. It's good. Let me even get the links to them. It's good to pick them up. Where are you? Let me post them in the chat. There's HackerRank. There's LeetCode. There are others. These are the ones I'm going to post. The others you can look, you can explore. get better at data structures and algorithms, things like that. Yeah. So it's good to learn, actually. That's core computer science stuff. It actually help your thinking. You get under the hood of a lot of things. So I endorse that. You should probably consider that. Let's go back to this slideshow. Yes, we talked about fairness. Field is saturated. There are a lot of front-end developers out there, and you come out to compete with them. There's more of you coming in. I keep asking myself why more and more people are going into web development, especially front-end. Seems to be the major entry point. There are also a lot of roles. It's funny. There are a lot of roles, a lot of opportunities, but there are a lot of front-end devs. Every opportunity, there are hundreds of people vying for it. There are roles coming out every day. There are front-end developers coming out every day. I don't know which one is more than which. There are definitely roles out there for you. But understand that the field is saturated, it's competitive. You need to key into a lot of things. You need to know your onions. You need to be able to sit down and talk development with the person across the table or across the system from you, computer from you. Know your onions, practice, understand when they ask you things, you still have a lot to learn, you'll be able to communicate, you can build stuff, you can solve problems. You're competing. There's no job just waiting for you. That's the truth. Interviewing is a skill and a job of its own. Yeah, finding a job is a full-time job on its own. Tech is where you understand that. Well, you send out applications, you send out applications, hundreds, thousands, you will get rejections. Forget that. Everybody does that. Hundreds and thousands of rejections piled up behind you. Forget this is normal. Keep doing it. More importantly, I think take your what's it called? What do I call that thing now? Take your networking seriously, please. Create a network. A lot of your jobs, opportunities, roles will come from referrals, people build things for people, take small jobs. You have somebody that, has a job or has a business and wants to build a small website, do that for the person, Find a way to charge, you can charge small money. Build that. I've built something that people are utilizing in production. That you can speak about. It will put you on a pedestal. Network. Because if you are just sending out application, you will send out thousands. Even the networking itself, it might be tens, hundreds of connections before you get anywhere. Code applications, thousands, tens of thousands. That's by the by. We spoke about AI a little bit. It's working for you and against you. There's a lot of stuff you can do in AI today. Yeah, I'll go back to this. But yes, AI is working for you and it's working against you. Learn how to solve problems. I've spoken about that. It's important. Because you that's what you're doing. You're creating solutions. There's a problem or there's a need. You're keying into that. You're making that need available. That's what you're doing. You're not just writing code or you're not just beautifying the web. You're creating solutions, solving problems. Yeah, the first person to be blamed for issues. We talked about that. The front end, the web is what stakeholders see. When something is not working, you're the one. Front end dev, you're the one. But that's by the by. Money. We've spoken about this a little bit. Some people make a lot of money, some people make little money. There are job roles offering millions of naira, tens of thousands of dollars. There are job roles offering tens of thousands of naira. There's tens of thousands of dollars. Anyway, the both spectrums are there. There are roles offering less than 100K. There are roles offering millions. And you'll be surprised that sometimes there's a difference, but sometimes people in both roles are doing similar things. It is what it is. We say that, life isn't fair. That's just how it is. But yes, obviously, look for as much money as you can get. Build yourself up. Sometimes some of you start off pro bono, like internship, or doing what you might call free work to learn. That's also good. Learn your trade. Build yourself up. Always be looking for opportunities. Always. Some people come into tech because of money. Not bad. Some people come in because they like tech. It's not bad. Some come in because of vibes. Not bad. Once you come in, you figure yourself out. Everybody wants money. Try and get money eventually. Whatever way. Is that thing? So there's this, well, maybe not anymore. Used to be a misconception that everybody in tech is making money. Not everybody in tech is making a lot of money. It is just what it is. It's like every other job. There are lawyers that are stinkingly rich. There are lawyers that are broke. It's like every other profession. Entry points. Yes, sometimes front-end development could be an entry point. I've talked about this. You go in, you understand, you build applications. Maybe because JavaScript, maybe you start writing Node.js and move to the back end. Or you like data science a little bit, you move there. Or you like design, you move there. Or you decide you want to manage people a little more, you do like project management. Maybe you build a solution, become a CEO, CTO, hold a more managerial position. So sometimes it can be an entry point into what I'll do is if somebody writes me a simple application, maybe not simple, like a web application, functional application that they would like to see built. Like for example, something like create a I don't know, like let me think of something fairly, build like a multi-step form, or build like a booking, multi-step booking form for users to schedule like their shipments. Like what GIG does, for example. Even though you don't do it, I think maybe you can do it online. With form validation, dynamic prices based on the weight, the length, height, width of your product, the location that you're shipping from, and have it responsive. So build that, or build a to-dos list. That's the one that everybody does. But maybe something more complicated than that. If someone gives me a prompt like that, we'll fire up an AI tool and see how fast we can get an application running from AI, just to see what is happening around, not to discourage you. Well, that's by the by. Lists, what's the least pay as a front-end developer? I don't know. If you can tell me what the least pay as a lawyer is, I would tell you what the least pay as a front-end developer is. Nobody knows. That's the answer. Somebody can offer you 50K. Sorry, I don't know. There's no answer. Somebody can offer you 5 million. I really don't know. Career opportunities, we spoke about this, not just in technology. So yeah, these days, people are building applications across sectors. You need application. It doesn't matter if you're a supermarket, you want to build an application to showcase yourself, your store, or for people to be able to order online, things like that. Have some sort of referral process, point process, whatever, across industries. everybody's building applications, so it's not just core tech. There's opportunities everywhere. You can work as a freelancer. A lot of people do that. You can be involved in agencies, or you can be part of an in-house development team where you're like in a company. I've done mostly that. I should probably try and do more freelance stuff. I don't know. Transition is a thing on its own to try and do, but these are all valid paths. Career projection, yes, can say that can lead you to different things. We've talked about that. Mobile development, I didn't mention that. You can be a front-end architect, which is like a front-end developer, but you're thinking more architecture is like a more senior role where you have a more holistic understanding of project structures. So it's basically like front-end developer. It's like a more senior developer. In conclusion, front-end development is crucial for user experience, web interfaces, obviously. You need the combination of various skills, communication, collaboration to succeed in the field. The field is constantly evolving. We've talked about that, all of this. You need to keep learning. You need to stay up to date. Things are changing all the time, and they are diverse career paths. Let me look. Nobody gave me a prompt for an application they would like to build. Give me an application you would like to build. Let's start with that. Yes, some of you think that this thing is going to be hard, though. And you're probably right. But everything is hard. It's just a choice on which ad you want to choose. So everything is hard. Choose your ad from a trial. I don't know why I put that. Let's. Okay, contact. This is probably the end. Yes. Contacts. That's my email. I don't know why I put that. Probably don't email me. I'm not sure. LinkedIn, GitHub. I don't know if you can message people on GitHub. Can you do that? I don't think so. LinkedIn is a nice place to probably try and reach me. GitHub. I don't know if I should post this in the chat. Number. Well, you can reach me on LinkedIn, and if we'll probably shoot a message and just say that you're from here, so that I don't make the mistake of ignoring you. Not like I ignore people anyway, but yes, I ignore people sometimes. I'll post the links in the chat. Email, don't email me. I probably will miss that. My number, WhatsApp. Okay, let me add my WhatsApp number. It's WhatsApp 635888690. 0. That is my WhatsApp number. 006. Is this right? 123 123. I think this is right. Wait, too. I think this is right. Anyway, by the by, questions. Are there any questions? Nobody dropped a prompt. Nobody has an? They ignore me. Give you time. What did I ignore? Did I ignore a question? If it's the thing about list pay, I think I answered that. If there's something, you can speak up again. This is questions time. So ask your questions if you have any questions. Don't ask me why there's a construction on this slide. I don't have an answer to that. You want to build a weather app? Let's go. Why is it? I feel like I'm only seeing two names on this chat. Maybe like two other people spoke. Okay. Ask your question also, if you have any. This is not the time to type in the chat. This is the time to just unmute yourself. I'm not talking anymore. While you guys are doing that, I am going to switch over to Lovable and make you guys question whether you really want to do front-end development or not. Okay, so Uncle Jairus said we should build a weather app. It's not very explicit, but okay. Let's tell the AI to build a weather app. Let's say with, I don't know, we didn't add much. I feel like adding stuff. Let's just say, because it's an AI with let's say with multiple function. I'm not sure how to do this. Functionalities. Okay, fire up. Let's see how fast the weather app is spent. Nobody's asking any questions. I'm not looking at the chat though. Okay, nobody has said anything. There are, I don't know how many people in this. 18 of us. Surely, you guys have a question. No? I don't feel like doing this again. Your presentation was not that good. Speak up. Feedback, yes. I felt like you could have done this. I felt like you should do this. Now it's time to speak up. This is taking longer than I thought. I thought it was going to be very oomphy. But anyway, we're dealing with that. The weather app that can work globally. I've put the prompt already. It will work globally. Okay, so this is AI. Let's see what it's doing. I'll help you create a beautiful and functional weather app with a modern, minimalist design inspired by the principles of simplicity and user experience. Plus, design inspirations, clean, minimal, blah, blah, blah. Sophisticated glass motifs, I don't know what that is. Subtle animations, of course, I hate animations. High contrast for readability, responsive design that works with phone on all devices, important. Features for the first version. Current weather display with temperature, conditions, and icon. So it's 5-day forecast. You get a weather forecast. But this thing, I don't think this thing keys in API, so I'm interested to see what it will do. Anyway, weather details, humidity, wind speed, the location search functionality, that's interesting. Beautiful weather missions, and but again, responsive layouts. You said that before. Design elements, soft add-on. This is just like typography soft. This is icons, small transitions. Edited files. Beautiful weather application that been created. It's clean, blah blah blah. You can do backend thing here. You know the context of custom instructions. Below. That's just one year while I was reading that. Okay, so this is your weather application. And okay, yep. So this is it. You can, let's see. I don't think it should be hooked up into anything. So I try to search levels. Nope. Humidity, tomorrow. Yeah, so there isn't a lot they added to it because there isn't a lot of prompts that I gave it. So this is a quick application that took the AI minutes to do. Backend. No, there's no backend involved in this one. There are tools that can do that, but we are doing front end stuff, so I'm sticking strictly to front end. We can add more things to this. So let's say the app should have, let's say I don't multiple pages with routing. Let's say it should have a list of locations and weather details. whether it's spelled like this, whether details, yes, and uh, okay, when a location is clicked, um, more information on that location on a new page. This is wordy, not a very good prompt, but let's see what it does with that. So it's going to edit this application, hopefully, and give us something. Yeah. Nobody is saying anything. So I'm going to round this up in a couple of minutes once this is done. Okay, so now, yes, like I thought now, I'm still not going to have research functionality because there's no backend hooked to it. So now you have London, you have New York, you have Sydney, you have Tokyo. So you have different places and different weather conditions. When I click London now, I see more information like wind speed, this hourly forecast. This is a forecast. For the future. If I click Sydney, it's in Australia. You have the same thing. If you click New York, it tells you it's sunny. It's going to be the forecast for this in the next couple of hours. So functional application. It will take you maybe a while to do this. It'll take the AI a few minutes, but you still need to understand and work with AI tools to build applications. That's by the by. On LinkedIn, for example. If you can get jobs on places like Upwork and Fiverr and other places like that, nice, good for you. I've never really done that or been able to do that. I can't really speak into that. I know people do that. It's nice to be able to do that. If you can get that done, although it's more likely that you venture into it and figure out that it's rough. Yeah, but yes, you can do that. Building your portfolio on Upwork is another skill on its own that you might need to learn to utilize that properly. But the answer is yes, you can. Whether it will work out is a different thing entirely. Let me stop the presentation. Okay, we're face to face. I've done a lot of talking, and this has actually been very long. Where is the app posted? It is you know what? I can drop this link. The tool hosts it somewhere. I can export it to my GitHub and work more on it. So if you actually want to see the app that we just built right now, you can click on that link in the chat and you would see it. Yeah, I can get it on my GitHub and host it somewhere myself. So I think I'm done. Yeah, Alex, I think it's time for you to even take over from me again. But yeah, you can speak.
Thank you, Mr. Modu. I hope you can hear me. Okay. Thank you, sir. This is
Yeah,
an
I
insightful
can hear you.
session. Yes, it's an insightful session. Thank you once again. Thank you everyone for joining this amazing class. And Mr. John J, I think you can see him. If you can see him, is our front end instructor. So I don't know if you have anything to say. Shall I just go on? So do you have anything to say?
Oh,
Okay.
nothing really. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the great session, Mr. Modurotolu. You actually said it all, right? And yeah, thank you very much for the great session. And I believe that we all that attended actually took home one or two insights, because everything he said is really applicable when it comes to using your skills, right? And everything that comes with it. So once again, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. I didn't know that, we had an
Okay, thank
instructor
you,
in
sir. So this will be the end of this session. We hope to see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
And
we hope to see you next week, sir. Thank
yeah,
you.
goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye. Thank you, sir. Thank you.